Hi there, this is Harmony, and I am recording a video answering some common and not so common questions about my new upcoming year-long course, year and a day long course, Stargate Mystery School, a journey through the wheel of the year and the stellar gateways. So I have a landing page where you can learn about this class. I'll include it in the bio below. But it is a year and a day initiatory journey through the stellar gateways, working with the stars and the constellations, exploring the modern and ancient myths, envisioning and dreaming into new myths that we want to create as a humanity for awakening and healing. And there's going to be a weaving of a lot of different things in the class, practices, ceremony offerings, guided meditations, journaling prompts, just ways of working with the stellar energy in conscious ways, embodiment practice type ways. If you've been in my astrology and your shadow class or my embodied astrology class, and that was focused on embodying the planets, this is going to have similar energies where there's going to be a lot of interactive experiential work. And then this class is really kind of like probably taking the embodied astrology class to the next level, because then we're working with the stars instead of just the planets. You do not need to have taken my astrology in your shadow or embodied astrology to take this class. It can be helpful, or it doesn't actually matter. You can hop in any of those classes and they will all lead into each other. So it's a kind of round table consciousness instead of linear. And you can learn more about the class on the landing page. I just want to talk about the questions because I asked for questions and I received a bunch that were common, and then I had some that were really unique, and I just thought I would do a video and answer things. So here we go. First of all, just a little bit about me. You probably already know about me, but anyhow, intro myself. My real name is Harmony. Birth name, I was named Harmony at birth. And I have been studying astrology for 25 years. I've been practicing for 14 years now. I've been teaching for 11 years. My background is depth psychology. I have my master's degree in depth psychology from Pacifica Graduate Institute. I've been studying shadow work intensively for the last six and a half years with my teacher, Robert Masters. I've also more recently, in the last couple of years, been developing my psychic skills and took a channeling program with Lissa Royale Holt. I'm always studying and learning more. I love to make sure that I'm taking things to progress and evolve myself, so that my own teaching and offering is also constantly evolving. So I'm an initiated priestess. I grew up in Hawaii. I'm part Hawaiian. I'm part many things. I'm like a mutt. I'm an INFJ. I'm a Cancer sun, Pisces moon and rising. Half my chart's in water. And I was born the day Pluto stationed direct. So that adds the interest in the shadow and the depth psychology. So I think that's enough to share. I'm a single mom, and I live in Oregon right now. And okay, so here's some of the questions. I just wrote them down, so I might be referencing here. What is the focus of the class? So the class is going to be focused on working with the Stargate alignments. We're going to be tracking the sun through the wheel of the year, and not every single star in the sky. Obviously, that would be like overload, but the big ones we'll be focusing on. We'll be learning the myths of the constellations, both the modern ones, the ones we hear today, but also the ancient ones, the ones that got changed thousands of years ago. And we'll be talking about why it got changed. And we'll be exploring the myths we want to create or recreate as we move into the future, because myths are intimately connected to consciousness and belief. There are these stories we think, but they actually have these undercurrents of teachings and assumptions even about what life should be like. And so if we look at life in the world and we're like, I think things need to change, we can start at the level of myth. These are the things we teach our children when they're little, the little mythological stories, and it actually sets the tone for what they believe to be true as they move into life. And then it's not just something, you know, when you're little that you can question. Later on in your life, you can start questioning the mythos of your life, the myths you adhere to in your culture. Do they even work for you? Are they even healthy? So we'll be exploring that. We're going to be exploring the divine feminine a lot in this class, because many of the lost myths connected to constellations and the stars actually have to do with the goddess. I'm a devotee of the Divine Mother. This is not going to be coming from a you know, masculine male bashing place. This is coming from both an honoring of the feminine, an honoring of the masculine, but an awareness that it's the feminine that has been repressed and demonized, and important myths around the powerful feminine and the leader feminine have been lost or purposefully forgotten. And so reclaiming that for the balancing. So there will be a lot of stuff around the divine feminine. I'll be teaching about the different, like the tropical, sidereal, and actual zodiac, talking about how it's not just one is right and one is wrong, but how you can find aspects of truth in everything. I really come from this place of shadow and light balancing, you know, so it's like we can see something and there's the highest expression we can like live towards and work towards, and then there's also the shadow side and what is the lesson there. And I come at astrology from that place always. So, and anybody who studied with me or reads my stuff knows that. Who's the class for? Anyone, women, men, non-binary beings. You don't, you know, there is no one type of person that this is geared towards. I mean, one thing is you do have to come with an interest in honoring the feminine and hearing about the feminine. We all have feminine and masculine within, so this is not really actually even a gender thing, but there is an expression of the feminine that comes through the goddess that we'll be speaking to. Why a year and a day? This is a traditional length for initiation in like mystery school teachings. And so you move through the whole year and then you have one extra day after, and that's the completion point. And of course, you know, a year is actually the sun moving through all the constellations, moving through all the signs. The whole wheel of the year is connected to a year's length because that's the solar journey. And I did it for that reason. But also, one of the things I'm really excited about with this class is that it's going to be lengthened. You know, in my astrology in your shadow and embodied astrology, one of the feedbacks I would get, or feedback, aspect of feedback I would get, is that they love the teachings, but they wish it could be like one class every month so that they could really like work even more deeply with the material. That's always been, you know, hard to like, you know, a 6-week class then has to be 6 months. So this class, we're actually going to be having one class, 90 to 120 minutes, more likely 120 minutes, if you know me. And then we'll be using the whole month to work with the material, and we'll have a community page and we'll be able to interact and share. So that's why we're doing the year and a day. And the community page is going to be on Kajabi, my private classroom portal. And there is a capacity to download the app for Kajabi, log in under my classroom, and then activate notifications. And you can get little notices on your phone when I make a post. You won't get notices for everybody's posts. And you can log in from your phone, or you can do it on the computer as well. It's for us to gather and share. It's not required, but it is recommended because actually the community aspect is so beautiful. And it's one of my favorite parts of teaching classes like this. Time each month, how much will this take? Well, the class itself is 90 to 120 minutes. There will be practices and offerings for contemplation and working with, you know, different things. You could do, you know, 5 minutes in the day, or you can do more. I mean, it really is up to you. So, you know, as much or as little as you want to give to it, I recommend more just so you can really work with the material in deep ways, but you have to kind of tune into your life and what's even possible. Do you need an astrology background? No. And so similar to my astrology in your shadow and even embodied astrology, neither of those classes are about teaching astrology, although you do end up learning astrology, but from the back door kind of thing, it's all about experiential experience of the shadow work practices as you see them in astrology. And there were always in astrology in your shadow, there was all these, worksheets, and you would look things up. You didn't need to interpret them. Embodied astrology also is practices to work with the planets and feel them in your body and connection to your chakras. So you need zero astrology background. And if you have astrology background, it can definitely take your awareness of the myths and the constellations and stars to the next level. So this class is not teaching you about reading charts or anything like that. It totally is focused on an inward journey. But if you are an astrologer or a student of astrology, it will most definitely expand your awareness of astrology. One of the best ways to learn astrology is to have it as a daily practice and to be really tapping in and connecting with others, even, monthly, about what's going on in the skies and how we're experiencing that in our bodies and how it's playing out in our lives, personal and collective. It's one of the best ways to learn astrology. And so you will definitely come out of this year with deeper awareness. If you know nothing, you'll learn something. You'll start to know some astrology. If you already know a lot, it will take you wherever you're ready to go deeper. So let me see. I've taken your astrology and your shadow class and or your embodied astrology class. Will this be related? Yes, it will be related, but as I said, it's not, you don't need to take those classes as prerequisite. So astrology in your shadow was literally working with your chart to work with your shadow and practices to work with your shadow. Embodied astrology was literally working with the planets and the relationship to the body, anchoring and embodying. This is now going out more into the stars. They all will have connections. So if you've been in the other two, you can see this as like chapter 3. And it'll build on what you've learned before. But if this is the first class you're hopping into, you don't need those other classes in order to be able to make sense of this class. You literally can hop into any of these classes and then do the next one if you want. And there's no order that is required. Unlike if I were teaching you how to read a chart, like you'd need to start with the foundations, and then you'd need to do intermediate 1 and 2, and you'd have to build. There's like knowledge that you have to have when you're learning to read a chart. This whole journey is your experience, and it is an inward journey. It's why it's a mystery school. It is in service of taking you deeper into yourself for healing, for awakening, for transformation. And so this class will meet you wherever you're at. Let's see, embodiment. Why is embodiment important? So, when something is an idea or an awareness in the mind, it stays kind of in the realm of spirit or mind. And it can only be anchored and brought into manifestation when it's embodied. And I actually believe one of the most radical acts we can do is to fully embody, to fully incarnate. And with Uranus, the rebel and revolutionary, in Taurus, I actually wrote a whole blog on it. You can find it, I think, pinned to my main page on my website, divineharmony.com. But I titled it A Revolution, Uranus, of Embodiment, Taurus, and to fully come down and in, to be here now, as Ram Dass said. And so this class will serve that end, and will give you practices and contemplations and meditations in support of that. So dates and times, that's on the page around the class, but it's one class a month, but it's not always on the same day of the week. It's always 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific time, because I wanted to make it easy for people in Europe to attend, people in Australia and New Zealand and Japan and wherever anybody is. I was trying to find the time zone that could actually work for everybody and wasn't like 2 a.m. But if you can't attend live, it'll be posted in the online classroom. You can watch when you're able. And the classes, the dates for the classes are actually aligned with the sun moving through the last degree of the previous sign. So we're starting class on March 19th. The sun will move into Aries in tropical astrology the next day. So the day before we have the class to set the tone for the upcoming month of the sun's journey through Aries and all the stars and constellations we'll be talking about. And then the next month, it'll be the day before, sometimes the same day if the sun moves into the new sign later in the day or that night. So you have to look at the website. It's not like the first Saturday of every month. You have to check. So you can get more info on the page for that. I can't attend live. That's fine. You can watch it when you're able. All classes will be posted in the classroom afterwards within 24 hours, but usually I get it up within a few hours. How long will content be available? Indefinitely. The classroom, once you are in it, you have access to it. Will I offer this class again? I'm not sure. I will see. I'm in a place right now where I have enough classes out there that I can't teach them all each year. And I have more classes I want to teach. So now I'm in a place of trying to figure out, do I make them available on demand? Do I, only offer certain things every other year? I'm trying to figure that out. So I would just probably, what I'm going to say is probably no, I won't offer it live again, and I'll offer it available on demand. So if you're interested in this journey and you want to know if I'm going to do it live again, I may not. I actually can't say if I will or not, but anyhow, now's the time if you feel called. What kind of teachings can you expect? Of course, astrology, mythology, etymology. We'll be looking into the magic of words, depth psychology, archetypes, mysticism, dream work. We'll be working with the tarot. There'll be some references to herbs and essential oils and crystals each month that can be aligned with like the energies that we're working with. There'll be ritual offerings, definitely influenced by my priestess path. Different mystical traditions will be weaved in, Egyptian, Celtic, Hawaiian, maybe others. It's probably going to be more that comes in as the class unfolds. What do you need to attend? And practically, you need a computer or a smart device. You can attend the classes live on like a smartphone, but I don't recommend it because I'll have PowerPoint that I'm sharing and you want to see the visuals. And on the little tiny phone, it's not so great. You need a Wi-Fi connection or a hotspot and, a means to be able to navigate online. If you're new to Kajabi, it might take a minute to just get used to, but it's not that difficult at all. The feedback I hear is it's super user-friendly. And if you download the Kajabi app, you can even, access things on your phone. And I think you can do the Kajabi app on like an iPad too. Spiritually, I recommend an open mind, an open heart, and a willingness to do deep work. Any optional things throughout the year? There are going to be things I maybe recommend, like, again, I said essential oils or crystals. Like there might be a particular oil that I go, this is amazing for this constellation and working with this archetype. And if you feel to go get it, or if you already have it, so there'll be little things like that. But when I do like rituals, I'll really try and work with what's found in nature. So it's not going to like cost you extra money. I will recommend a dream journal and a regular journal. A lot of people already have those. It can be just a simple notebook. It doesn't have to be all, nice. A tarot deck I will recommend, but you don't have to do the tarot if you don't want to. I'll bring it in, I'll weave it in. This is not a tarot course, but there'll be times that I'm going to weave in the tarot teachings with the astrology and with the archetype because they go so well together. There'll be times I might recommend books or articles that you could continue your studies with. All of this is optional. You don't need to do any of that. You can just show up for the class and then do the practices that require nothing, and you'll get a ton out of this class. So just to be clear, this class was really born out of my own journey. So, astrology and mythology and ritual and dream work and this priestess path and the divine feminine and shadow work and depth psychology, like these are all things that have been so important and really pivotal on my path of growth, of evolution, of awakening. of embodiment. And so I'm really kind of sharing my own personal path in service of your own, the things that have really served me in my awakening, and then weaving it together in this journey that we can go on together. I'm also walking this path and I'm learning every day. So, I'm very into roundtable consciousness. I am a teacher and I'll be a guide, but like, I am not the like person you put up on the pedestal. We are all doing the inner work. And I love when people are contributing their own wisdom and their own sharing. Like, it creates this beautiful synergy. And I love reading people's shares on the group pages in all the classes. So let's see, my engagement, I will be on the community page every month, probably daily, but let's just say several times a week, a couple times a week, sorry. But I always end up going on there probably daily, and I'll be reading, I'll be sharing my own stuff, I'll be commenting. This is not going to be a place where I answer personal chart questions, because that's not the focus of this class. The focus is the embodiment and the experiential experience, the experience of the stars through the meditations, through the dream work, through the various different things that I'll be, bringing into the classroom space. So I will be there. What various contents will happen each month? Well, there'll be the class, there'll be notes that I give you, PDF notes, there'll be a calendar with dates and times of exact alignments to be aware of. There'll be the guided meditation for each month you can download and keep. On the community page, I'll be posting a weekly video check-in, just reminding you of different things happening this upcoming week. There'll be different suggestions for things you can work with from week to week. And then there's probably other things that'll be coming through as the class is actually birthed and is happening. So can you work with me one-to-one? Will there be an option to work with me one-to-one? Right now, due to my website redesign and then this class and a few other things, I've actually taken down readings on my website. It says I'm on hiatus after like mid-April. Because I tend to book like 3 to 6 months in advance. So I took down the readings, I think in January. I can't remember. I think it's January. Anyhow, and so I don't have that available right now. I am in the midst of creating a mentorship program, and I will be launching it, I believe, in the summer. And it will be offered to existing students and longtime clients. So if you're in this class with me, you'll be prioritized, and it will be a deep dive of mentorship where we'll be meeting once or twice a month. And it's one of the ways I've seen people learn astrology in the deepest way, versus like just taking one class or having a reading and asking your questions or whatever, but like to regularly check in and go over what just happened these last 2 weeks. How was it activating your chart? What was going on in the world? How did that come through your own life? It's one of the best ways to learn astrology. And you'll get a taste of that in this year and a day course, because we'll be tracking things, and paying attention to what's happening in our own experience and in the collective. Obviously, the mentorship is going to have more one-to-one focus, or not just more, but we'll have one-to-one focus. This class is going to be all of us joining together. So when will I offer astrology in your shadow again? That was a question that was asked several times. So I am going to offer it again. I'm thinking probably summertime. And it will be offered as a 6-week class. It'll be taught on Wednesdays as I normally teach. So it won't interfere with this class. If you want to take that when we do it, I'll be, putting it out there. But this class, I thought I was going to be offering astrology in your shadow late the beginning of this year, sometime, like March. I thought I was going to be offering it, but this class came in and it became so clear that I had to do this class. So I kind of shifted gears. And it's exciting because I love the creative space of birthing something new. So, and embodied astrology, I was also asked, when will I do that again? I don't know. I mean, I literally just did it. So I may make that on demand. I'm sitting with trying to figure out how to, teach all the things and also bring in the new content. And so there may be classes made available on demand in the not too distant future. I'm working all that out right now. So who is this class not for? So if you're not interested in the divine feminine, this is probably not your class. If you're not interested in questioning your beliefs and the truths you adhere to, this is not your class. If you're not interested in inner work or shadow work, and if you're not interested in taking personal responsibility for your life and your healing, my guess is if you're even watching this, you are interested in all of that. But, just to be clear, that's who it's probably not best for. There are payment options. The early bird ends February 28th. So that's on Monday. Right now I'm recording this on Friday, the 25th. So the early bird rate is $670. I know there's a lot of year-long courses that charge like $2,000, and I wanted this to be accessible, but also still honor the work and the content. And so $670 is the early bird price for the whole year. And you get my 3 master classes: Eris, the archetype of the 21st century, Anchoring the Age of Aquarius, and Sirius, the spiritual son of our sun. They're all gifts when you sign up with the early bird price. And then I also have options: 2-month payment plan, 3-month payment plan, and 4-month payment plan. There was a question about scholarships. So I will be running a contest through my Star Family community. So you actually need to be signed up for that. It's a free community page connected to my online classroom portal. And if you have the app and you have the notifications turned on, you'll get a notice each day with the astrology update, only one a day, Monday through Friday. So in Star Family, I'm going to have 3 scholarships: 1 full ride, like free, and 2 half off. And it is going to be based on engagement. So you have to be signed up for my Star Family community, and then you have to engage on the page. And so every time you post something, you'll get added to the little name thing. And I will pick from the thing a few days before the class starts, and someone will get a full scholarship, 2 people will get half scholarships. And also reposting on social media and even your website. If you repost the class, tag me Facebook Divine Harmony Astrology, or Harmony Mariah is my personal page. Or you can also screenshot and send it to me. I'll also put you in the little whatever where I'm collecting the names. And then I will announce probably on the 17th or around there, either the 17th or a little bit sooner, I'll be announcing winners. If there is need, other than this, and if you don't get the scholarship and you still want to be part of it, if anyone is in need of a 6-month payment program, I can create that for people who show that they have need and it can be supportive for you. So you can email me at dhassistant13@gmail.com. Myself or my assistant Shannon will respond. And why a mystery school? So this is the last question. So the deepest mystery we will be exploring in this class is the mystery of ourselves. We are vast and we are ancient, and we are connected to the earth and to the stars. And there's so much about who we are that we have forgotten. And so this is a course to serve your remembering, to serve your embodiment, to just deepen your own journey into yourself, to support your evolution and awakening. And I have written here, this year and a day journey is to remember more deeply your connection to the cosmos, your connection to this blessed earth, your role as a vessel or chalice to anchor the light, and your journey towards deeper embodiment. So these are just things I'm so passionate about, and I'm really excited about this class. I've just had so many things come in, And our first class is March 19th at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and early bird ends February 28th, but you can still sign up after, obviously. And I look forward to seeing you in class. If you have any other questions, you can email dhassistant13@gmail.com, or you can go to divineharmony.com and click contact, and in the contact form, send an email, and we'll answer any questions. I will make sure to include below this video links to the class page, links to my Facebook professional page and my profile, so you can tag me on any sharing of the class, and also a link to sign up for Star Family, as well as a blog that shows you like how you can download the app and turn on notifications. So look at all of that below. I am sending so much love, and see you soon, right before spring equinox. Blessings.